My boyfriend always said he was too busy at the gym to FaceTime at night. So I signed up for a trial at his gym, walked in wearing sunglasses, and watched him spot a woman while whispering into her ear. He didn't even notice me. That night, I had Uber Eats deliver his favorite meal to her apartment with a note that read, "Enjoy this last supper. You'll need the strength for what's coming. I'm Rachel. I'm 32. I live in Fort Worth, Texas, and I've been a nurse at the same hospital for 8 years now. Steady job, steady life. Never been the dramatic type. But this story? It changed me. 2 years ago, I met Derek at a backyard barbecue a friend of mine threw. He was a friend of a friend, tall, built, and had that real, I work with my hands and don't talk too much vibe. He wore a cut-off shirt, had grease stains on his jeans, and somehow made it all look good. He worked as a mechanic, owned his own truck, said ma'am to my mom the first time he met her. He was polite. Funny. Made me feel like I was the only woman in the room. Things got serious quick. He wasn't a big talker, but he showed up. Brought me my favorite snacks when I worked night shifts. Fixed my car without me asking. Took me out to this tiny diner off 377 and listened when I vented about my patients. He wasn't perfect, but he felt safe. He also loved the gym. Always has. I didn't mind that. I actually liked it. I figured if that's how he handled stress, better that than drinking or something worse. But then, around the end of last year, something started to feel off. It started small. He stopped FaceTiming me at night like he used to. Said the gym was packed. Said the Wi-Fi sucked. Said he was too sweaty. Then he stopped answering calls after 7 p.m. altogether. Only replied to texts, and even those were short. Dry. Things like, yeah, or soon, or busy RN. I'm not stupid. I felt it. The change. But I wanted to be wrong. I kept telling myself maybe work was stressing him out. Maybe he was tired. Maybe I was being insecure. Still, something in my gut wouldn't shut up. I started taking notes, literally. Every time he said he was at the gym, I wrote it down. Times. Days. Every excuse. I kept it all in a little notebook I tucked in my kitchen drawer. 3 weeks went by. Same routine. Going to the gym, babe. I'll text you after. Never a call. Never a FaceTime. Never even a photo. I looked up his gym. Ironworks Fitness. Hullen Street. Old school type place, open 24/7, mostly weights and racks and mirrors. They had a free 3-day trial on their website. So I signed up. I wasn't planning on doing anything dramatic. I just wanted to see. That's all. Just confirm it, one way or another. First day of my trial, I put on an old hoodie, pulled a cap low over my head, and wore sunglasses even though it was already past 7 p.m. I parked across the street and walked in like I belonged there. My hands were shaking. I scanned the gym. Big space. Loud music. Sweat. Weights clinking. And there he was. Derek. In a gray tank top, talking to a woman near the free weights. She was petite, maybe mid-20s, long brown ponytail, wore one of those matching tight workout sets. I watched them for maybe 5 minutes. He adjusted her form, touched her back, whispered something in her ear, and she laughed. He smiled. That smile I thought was mine. And then she touched his chest. He didn't flinch. I didn't cry. I didn't even move. I just watched him walk her over to another machine like they did this every night. He didn't see me. He never even looked my way. I walked out before I could do something stupid. I didn't say anything to him that night. I waited. I wanted to be smart about this. I needed to know more. Over the next few nights, I came back. Same disguise. Same time. He was always with her. Sometimes they left at the same time. I even followed her car once. A blue Honda Civic with a cracked left tail light. I kept my distance, but I watched her turn into an apartment complex 10 minutes away from the gym. I wrote down the name, the Willow Apartments. I kept going back to the gym just to be sure. I saw him help her stretch. Saw him touch her knee. Saw her slap his arm and laugh too hard. And when I followed her again, I saw them pull into the same complex. He walked her to her door. That's when the real plan started forming. Derek's favorite food in the world is brisket from this place called Smokies. It's not a chain, just this rundown barbecue spot he swore made the best mac and cheese in Texas. I ordered it on Uber Eats and had it delivered to the Willow Apartments. I used his name for the order. Inside the bag, I put a handwritten note. Just one sentence: enjoy this last supper. You'll need the strength for what's coming. I watched from my car as the delivery driver walked up and knocked on her door. She answered. Took the bag. I waited for a call or a text from Derek that night. Nothing. So I waited again. Just a little longer. Then I printed every photo I had of us. At the fair. On his birthday. At my sister's wedding. Dozens of them. I wrote little captions on the back. 3 months in, said, I love you this night. He cried when I made him this cake. I printed out screenshots of our texts too. Ones where he said I was his forever. Where he promised he'd never hurt me. Where he said, you're the only one. I put it all in a big manila envelope. The next morning, I drove to her complex and taped it to her door. In big black marker, I wrote, you're not the only one he spots at the gym. The envelope didn't stay on her door long. I drove by again that night just to see if it was still there. It wasn't. I didn't hear anything from Derek for a couple of days. Total silence. No calls. No texts. Nothing. Then, on day 3, he showed up at my apartment. I heard the banging on the door before I even looked through the peephole. Loud. Fast. Like he wasn't just knocking, he was demanding. Rachel, open the *****ing door. I didn't. I stood there, arms crossed, heart racing. He kept pounding. I know what you did. You think this is funny. I waited. Let him stew. Then I cracked the door just enough to see his face. His eyes were wild. He held the envelope in one hand. It was torn open, photos sticking out like they'd been shoved back in without care. You really followed me? He asked. You spying now? That's what this is. I stared at him. You want to talk about trust? You want to talk about spying? He didn't answer. Just stood there, chest heaving. I saw you with her, Derek, I said. I saw you touch her. Whisper to her. Walk her to her door like I didn't exist. She's a friend, he said quickly, like he'd practiced it. You don't whisper in your friend's ear while spotting her squats. She needed help. She's new to lifting. I stepped out then. Closed the door behind me. You're pathetic, I said. You couldn't even be man enough to lie well. He stepped toward me, but I raised my hand. She got the food, right? Did she like it? His jaw locked. His eyes told me everything. She got it. She read the note. She saw the pictures. And I could tell, without him saying a word, that she wasn't taking his calls either. Good. He muttered something under his breath, turned, and walked off. Got in his truck. Sped off. I thought it would end there. But it didn't. A few days later, I started getting calls from a number I didn't know. Then I got the message. Hi, Rachel. This is Monica. I think we need to talk. Please. Monica. Her name. I ignored it at first. I didn't owe her anything, but the messages kept coming. They weren't angry or defensive. Just sad. She sent a voice memo one night. I almost didn't listen, but something made me hit play. I didn't know about you. He said he was single. I swear. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. She sounded wrecked. I could hear it in her voice. And something about that made me reply. We met at a coffee shop 2 days later. Neutral ground. She was even younger than I thought. 25. Worked at a dental office. Said she met Derek at the gym after he helped her re-rack weights. He said he'd just gotten out of something messy, she told me. Said he wasn't ready to date, but liked spending time with me. They'd been hanging out for 4 months. Not official. Not serious. Just enough to mess with her head. I didn't know about you until the food. Then the pictures. She paused. That note scared the hell out of me. I laughed once, dry and tired. Good. She looked ashamed. Said she hadn't seen him since. Said she blocked him. I believed her. Part of me still wanted to hate her, but I couldn't. Not really. She was just like me. Lied to. Played. That should have been the end. But Derek wasn't done. He started showing up at my job. Once in the parking lot. Once in the ER waiting room, just sitting there, pretending to wait for someone. Security had to ask him to leave. Then his mom called. Again. I raised a good man, she said over voicemail. You girls these days don't understand loyalty. I blocked her. But the worst was what came next. Someone slashed my tires. All four. Outside my apartment at 3 a.m. I couldn't prove it was him. No cameras. No witnesses. But I knew. I knew. I filed a report. Told the officer everything. Gave his name. His truck. His history. But without proof, they couldn't do much. That's when I realized I wasn't done either. After the tire slashing, I started looking over my shoulder. Every noise at night made me jump. Every knock at the door put me on edge. I knew it was him. Even if I couldn't prove it, I felt it in my bones. And when someone's got that kind of rage, when they feel like they've lost control, they get dangerous. So I started planning again. Quietly this time. First thing I did was order a set of wireless cameras off Amazon. Put one on my front door, one watching the parking lot, and one inside pointing at the window. I wasn't about to be blindsided again. Next, I went to the DMV website and ran a request on the blue Honda's license plate. It cost me a little, but I got what I needed. Monica's full name and apartment number. I already knew it, but now I had it in writing. Just in case. Then I did something I never thought I'd do. I hired someone. Not a hitman or anything crazy. Just a guy I knew from the hospital. Works in IT, kind of a loner. Fixes nurses' laptops under the table. We'll call him Troy. I asked Troy if he could do some digging on Derek. Not illegal stuff. Just social media accounts, dating apps, phone numbers, whatever was public. Troy owed me a favor. He came through fast. Turned out, Derek had more going on than I thought. He had a second Instagram account, not under his real name. Just pictures of cars, gym selfies, and a bunch of flirty comments from women. One of them was Monica. But there were others too. One girl posted a picture of him kissing her cheek. It was from Valentine's Day. The same day he told me he was working late. I felt like I was going to throw up. But it wasn't just cheating. He'd posted pictures of my apartment balcony. My car, my dog. He never tagged me, never mentioned my name, but there it was. Me in the background, brushing my hair. My front door with a caption, "Coming home to peace." He made it look like his place. Like he lived here. That scared me more than anything else. I printed out everything. Every screenshot. Every post. Every message from Troy. I made copies. Put them in folders. One went into my glove box. One in my nightstand. One at work. Then I called Monica. "I need your help," I said. "He's still messing with me." She didn't even hesitate. "What do you need?" We met again. I showed her what Troy found. Her mouth dropped open. "I thought it was just me and him," she whispered. "I blocked him. I told him I was done." "He's not done," I said. "But he's about to be." That week, we started tracking. Monica still had friends at the gym. She asked around casually, found out Derek had been getting friendly with a new trainer named Lexi. Blonde. Divorced. 2 kids. I felt sick all over again. It was a pattern. Same time slots. Same fake charm. That's when I told Monica my real plan. I want to show him what it feels like to lose everything. Slowly. Publicly. We got to work. Monica reached out to Lexi. Told her she was worried. Said she dated Derek and he'd gotten obsessive. Showed her a few screenshots. Enough to make her question things. Lexi pulled back. Derek noticed. Got pissy at the gym. Loud. Word spread. Ironworks is a small place. People gossip. Then Monica and I made a burner Instagram. We called it Derek's Lies. We didn't post anything cruel, just facts. Photos of him with multiple women, overlapping dates, messages where he said the same lines to all of us. It got traction. Fast. A few other girls even messaged us privately. One said he promised her a weekend in Austin while he was supposedly helping his mom move. We compiled it all. Then we sent it to his boss at the mechanic shop. He worked under a franchise name, so reputation mattered. Didn't take long before his job was on the line. He started spiraling. Posted cryptic stuff like, "You think you know someone," and "Betrayal cuts deep." He stopped showing up at the gym. One of his friends posted a story of Derek drunk in a backyard, yelling at no one in particular. I almost felt bad. Almost. But then my camera caught him outside my apartment again. 2:43 a.m. He stood there in a hoodie, looking at my door. Didn't knock. Didn't move. Just stood. Then he walked away. I sent the footage to the police. They finally agreed to issue a warning. But I wasn't done yet. The warning from the cops didn't stop him. 2 nights after they spoke to him, I came home from a late shift and found my front door unlocked. I always lock it. I triple-check it. Nothing was missing. Nothing broken. But something was off. A glass on the counter was moved. A kitchen drawer was cracked open. My dog, Daisy, was hiding under the bed and wouldn't come out. She never does that. I called the cops. Again. They came out, took a report, but with no sign of forced entry and no witnesses, there wasn't much they could do. That was my breaking point. I sat down with Monica the next day. We were done playing defense. We were going to bury him. Monica still had his spare house key. He'd given it to her months back, said it was for emergencies. She never gave it back. We made copies. Derek's house was small, just outside town, on a half-acre lot. I knew the layout. I'd spent too many nights there, cooking, folding laundry, thinking this was my forever. We waited until a Saturday when we knew he'd be out. He'd joined a flag football league with some of his gym buddies. We had 3 hours. Monica and I went in with gloves and masks. No stealing. No damage. Just exposure. We gathered everything that showed who he really was. His phone was left charging on the nightstand. It wasn't locked, just swiped open. I airdropped everything to myself. Screenshots. Notes. Photos. Videos. Messages from more girls. Lies stacked on lies. We printed them all out at a 24-hour print shop. 200 pages. Then we returned. We covered his house. Taped photos to his bathroom mirror. Pinned texts to his bedroom walls. Left screenshots in the fridge, in the dryer, on his truck's windshield. The front door? We duct taped one of his selfies with the caption, "He lies to everyone. Don't trust a word." Then we left. The next day, he showed up at the hospital parking lot. I was coming off a double shift. I saw him leaning against my car. I didn't speak. He looked worn down, pale, sweaty. "You ruined my life," he said, voice low. "No," I said. "You ruined it. I just made sure you felt it. I lost my job. Nobody at the gym talks to me. I have nothing now." I looked him straight in the eye. "Good." He started to say something else, but then Monica pulled up behind him. She got out of her car and crossed her arms. "You get near either of us again, we'll make it worse." He just stood there. "Go," I said. "This is your last warning." He got in his truck and left. And that was it. He moved out of town a week later. Heard from someone he's living with a cousin in Oklahoma. Working part-time. Laying low. Monica and I still talk. We even laugh now. It's dark, sure, but it bonded us. Do I regret what we did? No. He messed with the wrong women. But I'll admit this there were signs. I ignored them. I let him off the hook too many times early on. I told myself he was just bad at texting or tired. That was my mistake. Never again. If you feel like something's off, don't wait. Look closer. Ask questions. Trust your gut. Because once someone like him shows you who they really are, you don't get to say you didn't see it coming. You just get to decide what you'll do next.